What the hell did I just watch? What did... I am baffled. I am flabbergasted. I am shocked. I am befuddled. What did I just watch? I'm confused. Belinda, Solange, like what did I just watch? Y'all had me reviewing this movie and I want you to know it. I was forced to watch this movie 2 times. And I just want you to know I watched it for Brandy. But girl, what the hell did I just watch? When you meet the monster from hell, meaning your monster-in-law, meaning your stepmother-in-law, your in-laws, this movie breaks down what can happen. So you better think about who you pair with. Think about who you pair with. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Film-A-Tic, pop, 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 where we discuss everything from movies, television, music, reaction videos, anything your heart desires. So grab your popcorn, candy, and drinks, and let's get into this movie In the Front Room, starring Brandy, Catherine Hunter, and Andrew Burnap. What the fun? Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? I am on my mission of getting to 100 subscribers. Remember, you got to start somewhere. So please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Because just like I do these movie reviews, I want to hear from you. Alright, so today we will be reviewing In the Front Room, starring Brandy Norwood. If you don't know, she's Mo to the E to the, as well as a well-known platinum recording artist, actress, and so much more. So she starred in this horror film that I have no words. I am shocked. Now this is what I will say. It takes a lot for me to watch a movie, and then while I'm watching the movie, I'm constantly looking at when it's over. This movie was laughable. It was supposed to be horror, but I guess it could be considered horror if you're thinking about a monster-in-law, the worst scenarios for a mother-in-law. So let me break down the story to you in a brief synopsis. So you have a newlywed couple who recently pregnant, Brandy, she's Belinda. So Belinda, she's pregnant. She's working as a professor, but she's an adjunct professor. And they were supposed to make her permanent, but it's not going the way she hoped. She's trying to speak with the, I guess the counselor over everything, the advisor over her position, and he's ducking and dodging her. So she eventually ends up quitting her job. Now, mind you, their baby is due very soon. She has her husband, Norman. And Norman, you know, he's working a pretty good job and everything, but they're having a hard time making ends meet. So one day, Belinda she goes to the store to get some paint, and she's not able to pay for it because the card declined. So she get home, she's pissed, rightfully so, only for Norman to be sitting on the couch looking somber and sad. He says that his father has just passed away. Now, this is where the oddities start coming, because it comes out that he never really discussed with her his family and the background of it. And I'm like, okay, y'all are married and y'all never had this discussion? I'm confused. I'm befuddled. I do not understand. This is perplexity at its highest extent. I don't get that. But anywho, so they go to the funeral, and he basically says that he had a horrific experience with his stepmother. The stepmother is in all black, you know, she's at a funeral, but she has some type of covering over her face. And he's talking about, he tells Belinda about the abuse he endured with her and how she was essentially a Christian radicalist. So he was saying that he wasn't able to eat unless he said his prayers a specific way, and like she would do certain things that were abusive, emotionally abusive. So he was really traumatized. So through the whole through the whole situation, it just seems odd. So they go to the back to speak with the pastor and the stepmom, and it comes out that the stepmom is leaving everything to them, Belinda and Norman. The only stipulation is that she is able to move into the home. Now remember, they already having financial troubles and they're about to have a newborn baby. So at this point it seems like a no-brainer. Okay, let the old hag move into the home. Wrong. Now Belinda is not a deeply religious person. I don't believe she's a Christian at all. She believes in goddesses and all of these other things. So when Belinda comes into the house, she makes it known that she does not approve of all of the statues, different goddesses and deities of different times in her beliefs. So that's already a problem. When they sit at the table, it's Belinda, Norman, and Solange. And Belinda forces them to pray. As a Christian, don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with praying. I pray before I eat every meal. I pray consistently. But I'm not going to force my beliefs on someone else, especially when I'm living in a home. But that's just me, okay? That's just me. So Solange basically forces them to pray. They go to eat the food, and Belinda says she specifically made the ham because Norman told her that that was Solange's favorite meal. So Solange said the ham was too salty, and she said, look, she don't lie. Now keep that in mind as I go through the whole film. So as we move along, specific things start to happen. Solange ends up putting her hands on Belinda one dinner and starts speaking in tongues and says that she knows her baby's name. Now they've already named the child Fern. Hey, I'm not knocking anybody named Fern. They named the baby Fern. She said the baby's name is Lori. Now, I don't know how you jump from Fern to Lori, but Belinda allowed this woman to persuade her to change her baby name. Now, here's me, and maybe it's because this is somewhat of a trigger for me. This child is who I'm carrying this child. So if me and my husband have agreed that we are going to name our child a specific name, I don't care if you don't like the name. You don't have to like the name. You not having the baby. That's just my belief. You tell me if you think something different or if I'm tripping. But I really feel like, how can you come into my house and tell me what I should name my child? All right, and you have to be careful. Just a side note, you need to be careful about the people who you allow to lay hands on you, because just because they praying, you don't know who they praying to. Word to the wise. So when Solange moves in, she's given the old baby room. So Belinda and Norman had a son, but the son ended up dying. Now, we don't specifically know how the baby died, but we know that the baby was no longer here. So Solange wanted to move into that room because that room was downstairs, and because she's an older lady who used stilts to walk, you know, or canes to walk, she didn't really need to be upstairs. So they moved everything out and she was able to move into that room. Now the problem ensues because it's determined that Solange is incontinent. I think that's the word, incontinent. Incontinent? Hold on right quick. Solange suffered from incontinence, and incontinence is when you have a loss of bowel and urinary control. So in layman's terms, she was peeing and doing number 2 everywhere around the house, and she needed assistance with that. Now, I want you to picture this. Belinda is a new mother. Well, she's pregnant, about to pop. At home, a stay-at-home wife at this point, and her husband is constantly working. So that means she's having to deal with that while about to pop, meaning have a baby. You already know this ain't gonna work out. So through the movie, you have Solange terrorizing Belinda. I'm talking about she's doing number 2 everywhere. She's acting like she can't do certain things. Like Belinda caught her walking without her canes. So the whole time she's playing games. Now, one thing these movies are teaching me, and man, you need to listen to this. One thing these movies are teaching me is that you guys need to make sure that you listen to your wives. Listen to your wives. These movies are showing that when the husbands don't listen to their wives, chaos ensues. Orphan, Sinister. I can keep going on and on and on. If you would have just listened to your wife, you wouldn't be in these type of situations. It never works out. Rosemary's Baby. It's always something where the husbands don't listen to the wives, and then a whole bunch of issues start happening. You need to listen to your wives, okay? So Belinda tries to tell her husband, Norman, look, something's not right with this chick. We need to get her out the house. She being disrespectful. She's not respecting the fact I am the woman of the house, saying she's the mother of the house. Excuse you. Excuse you. Get out my house. Get out my house. So at this point, she's trying to tell her husband to remove this crazy woman out the house. Nope, nope, no. He is brainwashed. He has been bamboozled. It was very odd to me. I was like, Norman, I need you to stand up. Like, it was really bothering me. Like, deep down, I felt it. I was just like, what is this? Ugh. So as the movie goes along, it gets worse and worse and worse. Belinda comes home from giving birth, and all of these people are in her home from Solange's church, and they're speaking in tongues, like they're talking, they're touching her stomach and talking over her and touching her head and all of this other stuff, and she's just in fear. She's like, what is going on? Only for us to find out that Norman knew that these people were there, they were going to be there, and he didn't tell her. And I have issues with this. I'm going to save all my issues for the analysis, but I got issues with this. So she gets up, she tells Norman. Norman's like, look, I didn't think it would be that bad. I didn't know she was going to go that far. And I'm like, sir, this is a problem. Then Solange tried to act like Belinda had pushed her down to where she ended up missing teeth and she was bleeding. At that point, she would have had to get out of my house. You causing too much chaos in my house. My house was not near this chaotic until you got here. So you are the common denominator. You got to go. That old woman would have had to go. It wouldn't have been an if, and, but, when, now. She would have had to go. Okay? So, turns out Norman, he then goes to see the baby. The baby's crying. Belinda, it seems as if it's suffering from postpartum to depression with a mix of dealing with a monster-in-law. So he has the baby in his arms, and the baby has a bruise, and there's a bite on the baby. So Belinda says she's trying to turn you against me. Look at the baby. There's a bite that has missing teeth. I have all my teeth. So Solange was the reason for all of this stuff happening. She did something to that baby to where the baby was crying, right? And every time there was like this necklace that had faith on it, like it had the fish and the cross. I'll put a picture of it so you guys can see it. And the baby wouldn't stop crying unless that necklace was being held over the baby's face. Like the baby would be hollering, and then once the necklace was being dangled, then it stopped crying. She done did something to the child. So after Solange was doing something to the child, and Norman confronts Solange, and Solange basically admits that she'd been causing problems, like she was doing this. So the movie, towards the end, they're laying down and Belinda is screaming, why can't I die? Why can't I die? Something in that nature. And then she dies the next day. It seems like once Belinda died, the baby latched on. Once Solange died, the baby latched on to Belinda. And things just started going right. We see that they got Solange's urn with her ashes. We see her being cremated. We see all that stuff. And Norman's like, should we feel guilty? And Belinda turns around and says, she got what she deserved. So at the end, to me, that was the best part of the movie. The end reveals, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. The ending reveals that Belinda killed Solange. Yes, she did. She suffocated that old woman. So the movie ends with Belinda in the car and she's singing, "No regrets. Say we have no regrets." And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, that was funny. Because that woman put them through the ringer, okay? She was truly a monster in law. She was the worst of worst demons, okay? Why you would let something like this in your house, I don't know. But they did, and they suffered. So let me get to my analysis. Alright, so let's just be real. I watched this movie for Brandy. I surely did. I watched this movie for Brandy, and yeah. So, first off, the music was absolutely horrible. I cannot stand when directors, the people who are over music, do not understand that the music sets the tone for the film. So the opening music should fit the tone of the film. This movie isn't listed as horror comedy, even though it pretty much was a comedy. It was listed as a horror movie. So the opening music should have been somber, eerie. No, they had this techno, I don't know what you call that type of music, but it didn't fit the theme of the movie, in my opinion. Secondly, Norman irked my spirit. Norman irked my spirit, the husband. It's like, I understand that most likely he was suffering from PTSD, trauma that he experienced at the hands of Solange. I get that. But you're about to be a whole father. You are a whole husband. You need to stand up. If you see that your wife is under an immense amount of distress, sir, you need to do something. If you see your mother-in-law is the cause of this stress, she needs to get out. You don't side with the mother-in-law, you side with your wife. It really did irritate me. Third, where was Belinda's family? There was no mention of Belinda having family or friends. So when all of this was going down, I was constantly yelling at the screen saying, go somewhere, leave, don't deal with this. But they never mentioned anything about her family or where she could go. It's like she was just stuck there with no friends and just her husband and her mother-in-law. And I had a problem with that. Now, had they addressed that, it would have been different. But they didn't address it in the film. So it just left a lot of questions. Next, the fourth problem with the film that I saw is the mockery of Christianity. Now, I don't know if they were talking about false prophets. I don't know if they were kind of hinting at she was a demon masquerading as a Christian. I don't know if they were talking about Christian radicalists. I don't know. It's like they were almost there but didn't execute it. So it left so many things to the imagination of what is going on. Like, I have questions and I need them answered and they're not answered. I have a problem with this. So that was a big issue for me. That was a huge issue for me. And lastly, I understand that they were kind of teetering between what is reality versus what is in the realm of something else. I get that. But the way it was executed was not efficient. There was a scene where Belinda had walked into Solange's room and she saw her husband sucking on Solange's titty. Yeah, you heard me. And I'm like, okay, was that real? But then he comes down the stairs, so we can imply or we can speculate that wasn't real. It was just some type of vision delusion. But it's just like, What really are you trying to say? I get this woman is causing chaos, but I'm struggling with understanding the message of the film, okay? They didn't make it clear. So, if I had to give this movie a star rating, shine bright like a diamond. I'm sorry, I'm gonna give it a 2.5. Would I watch this movie again? In all honesty, absolutely not. Like, the only reason I would watch it is just to fast forward to the end when she started singing No Regrets, because I really do think that was funny when you think about everything that they went through. So you shouldn't root for somebody killing somebody, but you understood why she went to those lengths. I'm sorry, it was understood. I didn't feel bad for Solange. I did not feel bad for Solange at all. Yes, I said it. The old lady was gone, and I didn't shed a tear. So, that was the movie In the Front Room. No, I wouldn't watch it again. Right now, you can rent it on Prime for $20. I wouldn't recommend you do that. Just wait till it goes on Tubi, because it will be on Tubi, okay? And that's just my opinion. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I'm sorry I couldn't do a play-by-play with this one. It was just rough, okay? It was rough. Watching it. But if you do want to get a good laugh, go ahead and watch it, because Solange was a hot mess. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I do answer your comments if you do. My goal is to get to 100 subscribers, and we're almost there, and then we go to 1,000. So with that being said, please remember to keep a positive mindset. Remember to smile. God bless, and till next time, peace.